Hello and welcome, as today is the end of the 16th day of July 2019. My name is Derek and this is the Money Charts channel where, like always, all bets, trades, and of the like within each his own risk and their own reward. For myself, risk reward management is always job number one. And before we get into the Bitcoin versus the dollar, let's talk a little bit about this whole ratio trading kind of deal. For this is about almost 14, not quite 14 months of price movement that we're looking at. And it's just pretty much went sideways in this range between 29 and 14 with a little small glimpse here and there, with one being in here. And even recently, we're experiencing one right now. And this one here, this is real. But you had to be there on November the 30th at nighttime. If you were there then, or you had your orders ready to go, you could have taken advantage of these low prices in here. And then to be able to have a situation where you can have a move like this, when you look at the situation, breaking it to 25, above 25, and going up to about 80, and then giving it all back. So sell, buy back. Oh, that's just all part of the game. And even on the intraday level, these daily moves that can occur, just quick plays. This in here, even this little bit here, and most certainly this, if you're quick enough. This is easier to get, of course. But you're talking on intraday levels, going from this low as 1430, and this congestion area is like 20. Here we are leaving the 18 at like 22 and a half, breaking up to like almost 30, back down to 20, back up to 30, and even just it still continues. For myself, I have recently sold this twice today. I had sell orders come in. We look at this on, say, a single hour term. Where did I sell at? Well, pretty much at the top was the last one. 1667 was my highest one, so roughly in here, and 1529 before that, as it was breaking out in here. Well, now if it goes down further, I guess I'll get some of those waves back. For the more of those I can flip back and forth, the better it's going to work. And even in here, if you're able to say, if you're buying at 14, you have a chance at this stage just to get 10%. And you have to be fast enough. You have to buy at that level. You could be buying here at say 1432. It's down to 1380. I'm not buying. And then when you're buying at 1432, you're like, okay, it's at 1532. It's 1 basis point higher. And maybe it's enough for you. Maybe it's not. Of course, if it's enough for you, the amount of flips you can get back and forth can really help out as far as gaining profits. Now on to Bitcoin against the US dollar, currently priced at 9,547. It has went below this Fibonacci line. This Fibonacci line represents that of it's a 61.8% correction from this low, and the highs way back here. So it's 61.8. Didn't resist it. It's now support test number 2. Looking at this on a shorter term time frame. And we'll start within the 3 hour, which from this resistance point here at 12.85, falling down, not supporting this level of Fibonacci, resisting it, did support this on 2 occasions, and then within its extended correctionary move, was able to get above the 18 highs, but that was it. And then you have the support back in here, a couple pauses, and this is an interesting pair setup because that's one of those either or two situations. When you see the big red and the big green back to where it came from, it's either that of the failed breakdown, which it wasn't, which would then quickly get above the 18 average of highs and start an uptrend, or it's resisting that area of support where it broke down from, which is what happened. We see how after this green candle, you had a sideways, a little red one, another decent small red one, and then it breaks the support within this period. And from that point, it continues on to this level, piercing above, and another attempt in here to correct. And well, failing today, obviously, this thing had a large breakdown. Did not support this on the 3 hour term. Did it support it on the single hour? The answer was no. It didn't even resist it. Although it pierced above it for support here and it pierced below, or pierced less in each case, on those two situations on the 15-minute term time frame. When is the last time this is bullish? Well, back in here, up to the high of 11,000. And that would take us back to yesterday in the evening, 1945. That's a little old. Right now it's 1950, or 2050 rather. So 25 hours ago. And still no real decent attempts yet in reverting the trend. It's at the 18 average of highs, but all that's doing right now is flattening out the 18 average at this point. Looking at this on a 4 minute term time frame, we had some support earlier here at 95.18, and then here at 94.12. A lot of hits here at the medium 93.50 is pretty much the low. If 9300, especially 9300 low change, which kind of this is, if that happens to hold, be a bottom area, and cryptos from here, especially in the early stages, Bitcoin right now, starts going high, but more importantly, a level that we won't see for quite some time, that's going to be a very, very interesting situation. I'll explain more later on, but without that, my general ruling is very much cautious at this stage. The rallies in here, watch out for resistance here, and a move to 79.15. That's what technical analysis would be saying. But that's not what appears below, above around 9300 would look like. If it is the case, then that would be a failed breakdown below here. So we'll see as the day goes on. I'll explain it regardless. In the next few days, I got no choice now. This is part of my plan over the last couple of weeks. And associated with this is gold. And in particular, prices to go much, much, much higher. Even larger than what I would expect from a crypto. At least major ones like Bitcoin. 1400 times 2 is 2800. Add another 1400, that's 42. 3x move? Yeah, a bit more than that. That would be. I would never predict anything like that. All I could say is, well, I suppose if one is to make a prediction that price action is to go to 5,000 in such a short period of time, and December, January would be short, let alone even a year from now was extremely a short period of time via long-term analyses. A move breaking out past this resistance in here and not resisting here in a fast move to previous high is nothing out of the ordinary. But that's still only a price move to pierce below 2,000. High 1,000s, we'll call it, which is like, well, that line there, which says 1787 in the 1800s, and pretty much in the entire 1900s as well. Okay, so a move from that venture would be, well, to get to 2,000, that's 600 basis points, and 1,800 in itself is only 400. That's not even 30%. And again, that would be a standard situation of a good move you would expect to occur in like a 6 month period from here. But if it's going to be very, very, very good, then what price point am I talking about? Well, probably somewhere a noticeable good break above 2,000 and yeah, 25, 2,600. But no, 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 hyper parabolic, like 5,000, and for that matter, we'll say anything over 4 would be, oh my goodness, that's all. And is that mathematically possible in today's environment? Well, I suppose so, after all. Uh, I would have a harder time to convince why it wouldn't be than why it would be. Now, just an example of mathematics of options. Bid and ask, basically, if you want to buy, you pay the highest price. If you want to sell, you get the lowest price. That's just an easy way of looking at it. That ask is your buy price, bid is your sell price. Calls represent going long, puts represent going short. Strike price, that's what you're going long and short on. And this is like a casino game, nothing more, nothing less. I mean, it's exactly like a casino game. That's why I say nothing more or less. So, what we're looking at is a situation of by March 2020. So, you're giving yourself like, what's 12 to minus 4? You're 8 months. You have 3 quarters of a year for this bet. Within the next 3 quarters of a year, and you just go down to these lower numbers in here, and you can see how these bid asks, you have 20 cents, 4 cents. So you're looking at spending 20 cents for 215, 23 cents for 210. If gold goes to 5,000, this would be like a $500, 400 something. I mean, it's pretty much 10% or so of the price of gold in that ballpark area. So you'd be getting at like, even at $4,000, you'd be getting like $200 a share. And if you're paying 23 cents a share, you'd be making like 800 times your bet back. If it were to go to $3,000, or this is 300, and then this would trade for around $90, and you wouldn't collect your option, but you would just sell it on the market in the area of sometime when it closes. You'd see in a situation, say it's like November, December of this year, if gold prices are, say, I don't know, maybe 2,000, say GLD is 200, then your 210 would actually have a premium because you have the potential over the next like few months to be able to get more superior games. I am not playing this in any form. I am neither going to recommend or not recommend the play for. I wouldn't even understand which situation you would be in. But for myself, I own the 99.9 or the 24 karat gold, however you want to call it, pure fine gold. And that will be that. My goal is to accumulate precious metals via that of cryptocurrencies. And we live in a day and age where I can easily turn cryptos into physical precious metals. Now, over the last several years, especially over the last half decade, oftentimes, you're going to hear me talking about gold and silver when they're ready to go. I have never been saying I expect these things to break out really, really soon and really, really sharp. Well, I've always said it's going to happen at some point, but it's been very rare for me to say. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens any time soon. So we'll wait and see. Now, in a situation where you see exactly like I've talked about, where these things go up really fast and all that, and you have those big moves, not resisting this, then it will give me more of the benefit of the doubt. But for all of these things together, we'll see. Stuff like because of Deutsche Bank, I think a lot of this in the crypto big run that's about to happen will be because of Deutsche Bank, which is having a lot of problems right now within their company, especially if it happens in July, and that's where we are right now on July the 16th. And in conclusion, it's time for me to finish this video. So I suppose I should make a quick little trade, which would be selling some of this theta at 976. Because Waves is now going down. The reason why it was selling Waves before was because of this rally that it had earlier today. Now it's starting to go back down. And I'll be able to make a small gain on the last trade, but the more volume that I get, the better overall that it's going to be. So you can see here the ratio is 15:34. And it's in an area where I can make a trade, and then after this, it's either going to go up and I'll sell waves for theta, or go down more and I'll sell some more theta and get some waves back and let the market do what it needs to do, and I'll adjust accordingly. Thank you for tuning in, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.